In the first generation of competitive Pokémon, Persian exists as a statistical anomaly. With a base speed of 115, a fixed numerical value that determines turn order, it outpaces almost every major threat in the game. In combat, this sheer speed allows Persian to strike before the heaviest hitters in the tier can even react. Yet the overused tier has an undisputed physical king, Tauros. Tauros defines the entire metagame with its raw power and reliability. This chart compares Persian's base 115 speed against Taurus's base 110 speed. In Generation 1, base speed directly dictates a Pokémon's probability of landing a critical hit. Because Persian is faster, it holds a distinct mathematical advantage. This advantage is heavily amplified by the move Slash, yielding a near-guaranteed 99.6% critical hit rate. A critical hit in Generation 1 provides a specific tactical benefit. It ignores the opponent's defensive stat boosts. This bypasses Reflect, a popular move, that would otherwise have Persian's physical damage. This creates a central paradox. If Persian outspeeds Tauros and possesses a move that mathematically breaks through the game's toughest defensive walls, why is it relegated to the underused tier, holding only a niche presence in standard play? Early competitive players assumed Persian would be a direct replacement for Tauros, leading to predictable misplays. They deployed it as a blunt instrument, but pure mathematical advantage on paper fails in practice, without accounting for the trade-offs of damage caps and defensive utility. Persian's offensive output relies entirely on those consistent critical hits, but they come with a structural limitation. This graph illustrates the problem. Slash's 70 base power always lands a critical hit, locking its damage at a flat ceiling. Contrast this with Taurus's Body Slam. Its 85 base power introduces a fluctuating variable, a 30% chance to inflict paralysis, represented by these spikes. Persian's static damage output becomes a liability against Reflect Snorlax. Snorlax is a massive wall designed to absorb physical punishment. The math is precise. After Persian lands 2 consecutive slashes, the third strike will only secure a knockout on Snorlax 6.5% of the time. Snorlax exploits this exact mathematical gap by using the move Rest. This fully heals its HP and erases all of Persian's progress. To solve this stalemate, Persian requires a counterintuitive solution, abandoning its signature move, Slash, to use Body Slam in its second move slot. The logic behind this swap is to fish for a standard, non-guaranteed critical hit on Snorlax. Landing one secures the knockout before Snorlax has the opportunity to use Rest. Body Slam also provides secondary utility. If a fast opponent like Starmie switches in, Body Slam can punish them by inflicting crippling paralysis. Persian's capped damage forces it to rely on secondary, probability-based utility moves to break through true defensive stalemates. Relying solely on a normal-type offensive strategy exposes a massive flaw. Ghost-type Pokémon are entirely immune to normal-type attacks. This creates the Gengar problem. Because Persian cannot touch it with normal attacks, Gengar is granted completely free turns to use Hypnosis, putting targets to sleep, or deal uncontested damage to Persian's team. Rhydon acts as Persian's secondary wall. It inherently resists Slash and threatens an immediate 2-hit knockout, or 2-HKO, using Earthquake. This matrix illustrates Persian's moveset requirements. With slots 1 and 2 locked to physical attacks, slot 3 mandates Bubble Beam to guarantee a 2-HKO against Rhydon. It also carries vital secondary utility, a 33% chance to lower the target's speed by 1 stage. This speed drop deters fast attackers like Alakazam from switching in safely. Finally, slot 4 mandates Thunderbolt, linking outward to neutralize Cloyster and Slowbro nodes, targets that would otherwise wall Persian's physical attacks. Thunderbolt also serves as Persian's sole, albeit weak, method to chip away at a sleeping or heavily damaged Gengar. Tauros exerts pressure through flexible dominance. In contrast, Persian's moveset is dictated by its counters. Every slot is a mandatory response to a specific threat. Persian's offensive constraints are secondary to its most fatal flaw, an abysmal defensive stat spread of 65 HP, 60 defense, and 65 special defense. When a massive physical blow lands on a defensive target this fragile, it immediately results in absolute structural failure. The consequences are severe. Pokémon like Executor, Zapdos, and Cloyster can casually 2H KO Persian without needing to set up any stat boosts. This brings us to the ultimate one-on-one matchup, Persian versus Tauros. Tauros easily secures a 2H KO by combining a body slam with the devastating attack Hyper Beam. Persian's standard response is a desperate one: land a slash and then pray that its own follow-up Hyper Beam lands a random critical hit. This timeline breaks down a highly specialized alternative for move slot 4, the move Growl. If Persian uses Growl on the exact turn Tauros executes Hyper Beam, it lowers Tauros's attack by 1 stage, reducing incoming damage just below the fatal threshold. Surviving this weakened Hyper Beam forces Tauros into a mandatory recharge turn. It remains completely immobilized, allowing Persian to retaliate and secure the kill. The risk is extreme. If the opponent anticipates the Growl and uses Body Slam instead, Persian wastes its turn, absorbs the damage, and completely loses the duel. Persian cannot afford to mindlessly trade blows. Its survival relies entirely on razor-thin mechanical exploitation and high-stakes psychological reads. Because Persian lacks any meaningful bulk, it is uniquely vulnerable to one specific status condition: paralysis. Absorbing a Thunder Wave from staples like Alakazam or Starmie strips Persian of its speed advantage. It turns a lethal attacker into useless setup fodder for the opponent. This flowchart maps out the strict win conditions a player must achieve before even revealing Persian to their opponent. There is a hidden cost in team building. Because Persian cannot replace Tauros, players are forced to run both of them on the same roster. Fielding a team with 2 normal types that refuse to absorb hits starves the roster of essential defensive tools and safe pivot options. This reveals Persian's true identity. It is not a primary brawler meant to trade damage early in a match. It is a specialized, late-game scalpel. Its most lethal strikes occur only when complex environmental conditions are perfectly aligned by the rest of the team. Persian represents the extreme edge of Generation 1 competitive theory. You sacrifice safety and utility for the singular ability to surgically execute the tier's most resilient physical walls.